I like the choice of Uller. I think Honor is also on the table. Let's see what direction he and his team go as we head to picks and bans for game 2.
Yeah, I don't really mind the picks from Kingdom
Nope,
there.
not at all.
The only issue is that they could never really go aggressive. They didn't really have a chance. It was definitely Noble kind of at their throats the whole time. We saw the initiations, primarily Grattywind being that first in, first out, right? And then Batz kind of the follow-up initiator. And it really seemed like the backlines for Noble were never pressured. The only time we saw them pressured was when Niqued went aggressive. The fight before the last fight where he was able to solo out the Chronos 1v2.
And Kingdom took note of that, so they're going to get rid of the Xbalanque. Niqued played it last time. They don't want to play it this time, and they don't want Noble to play it either. So a little bit of a shake-up there.
Who was the shake-up ban? These are all the same, but who was traded out for the Xbalanque? Who was it? Wasn't out. It was Raijin.
Raijin was the
banned away. So Kingdom have the option to go into the Raijin if they want. We actually did not see the Alquang last game, banned or picked, so that's still open if either of the jungles feel comfortable. Maybe not something Grattywind wants to do. Like we said, he has just switched to this role. He was previously the team's support player.
And that is what I expected out of Kingdom. So both of these teams have
new
junglers, but specifically the Thor taken away from Grattywind. So as you mentioned, Grattywind traditionally the support player for this team. And what Thor's able to do is he's able to he's able to be the initiator, which is what a lot of the supports do.
He's a hybrid.
It's a different it's a different but similar and understandable mentality coming from support into the jungle on a character like Thor. So if I'm Kingdom and I know what Grattywind's been doing, playing support, blah, 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 I'm going to take that Thor option away. I'm going to take the Xbalanque option away as well.
And this is actually the first time you could see there on the stats for Thor, the left-hand side team. That tells you the first is how many times that it's been picked by the team, and the second one is how many wins it's been picked. So Kingdom, in their 14, now 15 games played, this is the first time they're going to play it. So with their new jungler, Brownsiide, and I think this is just a sub, maybe this is just something he's comfortable with that T-Small never wanted to run.
Yeah, either that or there's so many different reasons for the Thor pick, all of them very intelligent. And they're going to couple globals with globals. Athena's got one as well. Scylla doesn't, but she's able to punish.
The thing here with Scylla is that now she has so much setup for her. One of the biggest things about Scylla is, like we said, once you have those boots online, it's actually impossible to hit Scylla ults just straight up if the player is good enough at juking, just because the movement speed gets them out of the middle of the ring and the wind-up time. And so you always want to pair Scylla with someone with a pretty hard CC or instant startup CC. So you'll see a lot of Geb, old school, when Geb was in the meta, Geb was played a lot. Athena as well has the taunt. And then there's Thor, where you have two sets of CC, not only the ult, which is surprise factor, but also the wall.
Exactly. I mean, you can't always expect to be sneaky. We saw Cat use the ultimate over the wall a couple of times, which is very intelligent and very smart, but you can't always depend on that. Thor and Athena is certainly going to allow that to happen a little bit better. Noble Esports going to go the way of Batz. So again, we'll see Grattywind on a sort of, on a character that enables the team more than enables himself. And I think if you're coming from the support position, that's a good way to really start the ball rolling.
Yeah, I mean, these are all like baby's first junglers. Not that they're bad in any way. Like Batz has one of top 5 teamfight ultimates in the game with Fear No Evil, and that's the thing, right? On a Batz, you don't necessarily need to be the primary damage core. You can still be effective even if you get behind. And there's a lot of setup potential now for this Raijin, right? Both defensively and offensively. It's not like in I'm a Monster where you maybe have to worry about the fear kind of pushing people away. The Raijin ults, if you know the direction they're going, because feared players are actually a little bit slower, it's pretty easy to line those up. And also, if someone jumps on the Robin, now you're going to have that to get them off.
Plus, I mean, Batz just going for the player. I know Grattywind a little bit. Batz is the party monkey. Grattywind, he's a party animal.
People really underestimate also the ability for Batz to chase out mobile mages. You see it most on Giannis just because most players can't follow him through his portals. But, I mean, if we see the Sentinel come out and there's no one in range, Batz can just hit that Furious Monkey or Sacred Monkey, and then the second he goes over the wall, just chase him.
Certainly going to help that out. And Xbalanque, this character was banned last time around. Noble going to pick it up for their hunter Lou. Certainly a character that Lou is, I mean, Lou has always been a fan of Xbalanque, even going back to the old PC Challenger days. He's been a player of Xbalanque. Kingdom Esports can answer that with Ho Yi and a Chaac.
Oh, God.
And a Chaac.
God, get me out.
And just the Chaac. So,
F6.
I mean, you talked
At least
about
it's not a Sobek.
you talked about Thor being training
At least
wheels.
it's not a Sobek.
Oh, I wish it was a Sobek.
Oh my god, I knew it was gonna be a Sobek.
Sobek! I'm literally standing in my chair. I'm so excited. Summer Sobek 16. This is how we do it. Sobek's gonna be the support on the side of Noble, allowing their new guy Batz 2013 to see how aggressive he is. And this is fun for me because Grattywind has been the Sobek. He's been the NA Sobek, very aggressive, very just going for it, being hyper aggressive. And he's switching into the jungle, and he's like, all right, Batz, play the Sobek, but I'm watching you. You got to play it as strong as I did.
Niqued, though, on this Chaac, this is interesting. We don't really see Chaac too much. I've kind of seen Niqued be a new star in the soul lane. Still, Kingdom have yet to find wins. It's clear that individually, like, their mechanics are on point, right? You look at their side lanes. Niqued, he solo wolves in his first appearance in the SPL with Tier. We saw him play the Xbalanque last game as well to great effect. Obviously, the team doesn't win, but it really wasn't his individual fault. I think it was kind of a little bit of team comp and execution. And then Despair on this Ullr and Hou-Yi, right? He's playing kind of these, like, MLG star, right? Like hunters, right? Ullr and Hou-Yi are the MLG hunters.
Yeah, you got to bring out your own individual skill, your personal power, and that's what we're seeing. Kingdom Esports, they've got a lot of potential on these outside lanes, and it's really about coming together and seeing what they're going to be able to do. But the Chaac pick is interesting. So the Chaac pick is going to be very aggressive early on, and that'll allow Niqued to stay relatively powerful in lane against Yoyo's Ravana, but also you're able to carry the early game with Thor and Chaac, bring it to the mid game to where your Thor can hold hands with your Hunter, and then of course you've got Kata for the late game. So a little bit less riding on the shoulders of Scylla early game as opposed to when we had the Xbalanque, which needs a little bit more items.
I want to see how this Chaac does in this lane against the Ravana. I haven't seen this matchup too often. And Chaac's slow, actually, pretty useful. I don't know if... I'm pretty sure new Runeforged is in this patch, correct? Where if you pick it up, it's, what, 30 power health, and then anyone slowed that you're in range to is going to take 10% more damage. Super useful on Chaac.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Chaac item pretty much, right? Chaac and Osiris just got boosted when that item came out and was talked about, so Niqued certainly going to at least consider it.
Mid Harpies, though, go the way of Noble in the early game. Kingdom electing to stay in lane, and the duo Despair forced to Sanctuary on the left-hand side. That's the problem with Sobek, right? Especially if he gets lane control and you're low, it's so hard to do anything. You're just pushed under your tower. And the second you step out, I mean, Sobek's just going to flick you.
I mean, complete jokes aside, there's a reason I coined the term Sobekitude, man. Sobek in lane completely changes the way that you can play. You can't stand up in front and hit those minions as the wave is coming at you because you're going to get plucked. You can't do the same things in lane that you would normally when you're playing against a Sobek. So it's going to force that Hunter to play a little bit more safe, unlike what Kingdom's doing here. They're being very aggressive, and they're going right into the enemy jungle, taking out those back harps.
This was an important switch up, excuse me, and actually Brownsiide not even going back to the mid. He's going to be looking for Yo-Yo, and a good wall here could spell death. There's the double tap, it connects, and that's going to be first blood.
Brownsiide picks up the first blood, his first blood of his career here in the SCL. Very well played, and again, without that level 5 on the Ravana.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, what are you doing? Sobek actually flicks Despair into Lou, and he's going to chase him down, looking for the lineup. Good body blocks from Batz, though, but he missteps just at the last second. Despair very low. One hit, and Batz with the body blocks. Lou finds the kill. Reacher trying to combat this, but the problem is he jumped into the tower, flipped back into, then knocked up. One more hit. Batz. Welcome to the team.
Everybody showed up to that lane. Here comes Brownsiide. He's going to pick up his second kill as well.
Look at that. Oh, just in case. It teleport. Oh, Brownsiide, run.
So the mentality, that wasn't a fat finger on the beads, just saying. That wasn't a fat finger on the beads. He was aware that the charge spray was coming. That's what he was looking for.
So let's break that down, right? So first thing, Batz makes a mistake. Lou is very low, and he actually plucks Despair into his Hunter, and Despair's immediate reaction is to get out, but he doesn't realize that he could probably fight Lou there, so he waits a little bit, and then he jumps on Lou. By that time, he's taken more damage from the minions, and it's given time for Lou to readjust his situation and get into a better spot. Batz does a phenomenal job of body blocking. Lou makes it out alive, and then Reacher chasing Lou down. He's one hit, actually dashes into the tower, and then just the pluck and then the knockup from Sobek keeps him locked down.
That is. I mean, that's seeing red. He's actually just, his screen turns the color red, and he just wants to kill so bad, and it, unfortunately. For Kingdom, it doesn't go their way. Reacher can't find the kill and winds up back to base the hard way. But all in all, this lane should pretty much reset, right? You got the one kill on the Xbalanque.
Obviously the Sobek, right? It's not too bad of a deal if supports are ahead, but the issue right now for Reacher is that Sobek backed with enough gold to finish off his Traveler shoes, and you see that the Athena's still shy of them, so that's going to be even more gold gain for Batz. He'll probably be at 500 to 600 gold ahead, which means he's going to just be really tanky here coming into probably this mid-game mark.
And it also just allows him to rotate a little bit more efficiently. The Sobek's just going to be a step ahead of the Athena until she's able to finish her boots. So certainly something to think about as we approach 4.5 on the clock, just about. Kills are about even. First blood goes the way of the team in the lead right now.
Brownsiide.
Yeah.
Looking for another kill onto Lou, actually. Or, excuse me, yoyoabc here in the dual lane. Yo-Yo was the first to die in this situation, giving the Chaac a pretty good lane here. And Brownside's back. But the problem is that everyone rotated on the map. So once the Athena and Scylla, it doesn't even matter if Brownsiide was there or not, because the Athena and Scylla all rotated to the right. So the call was, hey, back up in case they go over there.
A different story, though. Yo-Yo started engaging, got about halfway down the lane, and then Niqued just really brought the pain.
Oh, Brownside's back.
If he ults here,
Yo-Yo has
can
no
hear
idea.
him.
He can definitely hear him, but I don't think he's trying to ult. And the problem is Niqued is really pushed up, but they could probably tower dive this with Niqued's ult.
And that's the game plan. Stun coming out is going to be flipped out. Can't find it, but the axe does. Very low is the solo laner, but there's the ultimate out of the jungle. Purification used. Brownsiide should be fine. Goes up. Looking to get more aggressive. Landing. Grattywind or solo. Can he choose? No. He instead goes for the Sobek and doesn't find it. And that's problem. Stun, miss. Taunt, miss. Ult, miss. See you later, Kingdom.
The call just wasn't made fast enough. Kingdom had a couple options there. They could have went for the Batz instantly, although the issue was that Batz would have peeled for him pretty effectively, or they could have went for the Ravana under tower. And then it's a risk of, I'm tower diving. Is this a little bit too much if the Raijin can rotate in time? And so instead we see Brownsiide kind of wait to decide what he wants to do, and by then it's just a simple fact that Noble's able to reposition themselves.
Yeah, hesitation is certainly not something you want to be doing
Reacher.
here. Double taunt, did the double stun.
Batz.
No ultimate just yet, but Raijin now looking for it. But it's after the CC, just not of the same mark, and all four just go into the ether and not able to find much.
That was a really good hammer from Brownsiide, but he's finally going to get picked up next to the Gold Fury there. Wasn't able to get in position to escape. And, I mean, Batz there, that was probably a double kill off of that taunt and double tap from Thor, but you could see just the reaction there to find that tail whip knock up onto the two players trying to kill his own carries there, keeps them alive.
Well, yeah, I mean, well played by the setup guys, right? We saw fantastic stuff out of the Athena and the Thor, but the Scylla just not able to find the damage. And then the turnaround from Noble, I mean, pretty much the same thing as their mid laner.
This is going to be a lot of trouble for this Athena. She's going to finally back right now, but we're 7 minutes in. She doesn't have a lot of protections online. And if you look at the comp on the other side, it's actually a fair amount of people who are going to be fighting her who can displace her dash. One of the biggest weaknesses on Athena is that she has to charge up her dash, so it's not an instant getaway. And you'll see a lot of time teams kind of chain their CC where she's constantly getting knocked up. So not only is she going to get flicked by the Sobek into a team, but then as she charges it up, she'll get tail whipped. After that, she can then get Fear No Eviled, and then after that ends, if she's still not dead, which she should be, the Thunder Crash also will cancel out that charge up. So it's going to be really hard for her to escape in a lot of these scenarios.
And I mean, also, even if she does, after all of that, you do find the escape, Batz is jumping on you and slowing you down.
Yeah, so it's hard.
With that said, she also has some aggressive nature as well. She's going to go ahead and ult onto her solo laner and try and steal this solo buff. There it does. Goes down to the blue buff. Chaac picks it up and...
I thought the Athena had that for a second.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, the Sobek, not the Athena.
Oh, no. Definitely the Athena combines with the Chaac. Good stuff. Love the play.
And now Reacher here, you can see he's about 600 to 700 gold behind the Sobek, so getting that really delayed boots, right, doesn't finish it until about 7.5 minutes. Coming into effect there, the Sobek's going to be able to tank up. You can see he's already starting on his Urchin, almost the last stack away from it. So once he gets that online, he's going to be in a much better position and could probably look to start forcing some more fights with this Robin.
Where would you like to see those fights happen?
Probably just force a fight on a Catalyst, right? Like, burn his Purification as soon as possible. Same with the Thor. You could probably even bait Brownsiide, like, with the Raijin. Like, have Grattywind kind of wait around the corner, and the second the aggression comes out from Brownsiide, just counter-engage. Because right now, Brownsiide, even though he has 2 kills, he's actually behind in farm when it came to experience, but then he just leveled up, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but he's also, well, there it is. Brownsiide going to be in trouble.
Get the hammer. Oh, the monkey. That would have been a kill for sure.
Yeah, Grattywind off the mark. Still getting used to the characters, I suppose, as the recent role swap. Grattywind, the previous support player for Noble Esports, just coming into the jungle
that's a
today.
kill, right? You could teleport past.
100%.
Like the monkey bounce too, probably doing a fair amount of damage. Can we actually take a look to see if he's leveling up the Sacred Monkey? No, it's actually the jump. So you do see that just because it's kind of safer damage and normally your initiation. But with Thor Force back, this is going to be an early Gold Fury. You can see the rotation coming in from Athena, but I don't think she's going to be here fast enough.
Not quite, especially with those ultimates. And with that, Kingdom should be able to pressure the mid lane, but Reacher shows no interest. He's just going to go ahead and back. What's he buying? He's got to be able to buy something right away because he was full HP, full mana, ready to go.
Wards, I'm assuming. But at that point, you don't really need the wards. Yeah, he probably should have split. So you are seeing a little bit of inefficient farming coming out of Reacher this game, right? He had enough gold to finish his boots probably about 5 or 6 minutes in, but he kind of runs around the map instead of getting that gold gain online. And then, like you said, right there, he has full health, full mana. He had already placed his wards. You know, it's kind of fine. You kind of need at that point to prioritize yourself. You really need to get some health and defenses online. He hasn't been targeted out too much, but if Noble Esports recognize the situation the Athena is in, they can just fight on him every single game or every single engagement.
And that just might be what they're thinking about doing. I mean, he's down 1,000 gold in comparison to the enemy support, about a level and a half as well. The Sobek certainly working out here. Batz has looked very strong.
Oh, okay, Niqued. You're dead.
I don't know about that. He's Chaac.
Really? You don't know about that?
I'm just
He's
kidding.
got an Athena on top.
He gets a 4-man silence.
He's actually half-life, but I mean, Reacher kind of needs to get out as well. He's doing his best to defend, and the rotations come on. Actually, Chaac managing to stay alive for quite some time.
Yeah, he's going to get everybody with the torrent, just battling it out until he inevitably falls over. But Brownsiide is able to pick up Grattywind. It's just Neek trying to stretch out as long as he can. Heals are good, and Batz, the basics aren't good enough. Avoids the burst out of the mage, turning it around. We saw him 2v1 on bracket. He's going to try and do the same on the Chaac. Doesn't find the kills, but he certainly doesn't fall himself.
Baz still wants his kills, though, and Neek not going to be able to help in time, and Baz finally picks him up, and he dashes away. yoyoabc a little bit low there. He's going to be forced back as well, and Brownsiide electing to go on the Hunbats, I think, for the guaranteed kill. He easily could have picked up that Raijin earlier on, but instead elects for the more guaranteed kill. At the very least, going to walk away with the speed buff.
Junglers always want that speed buff.
Come on, man. So good.
I mean, it's so important. It's valuable for the as far as, I mean, we were talking about movement speed earlier being very valuable, but it's also you get in the enemy's head. Yeah. No one wants to lose their speed buff.
Of course. That's Chaac though. He just 4v1. I mean, obviously you get the 50% damage reduction on your ult, but still,
that's part of it.
I think the whole deal was that Noble were actually trying to save their ultimates, right? The Hunbats ult, first of all, was used way too early because it just pushed him up against the wall, but he was still, once the Fear No Evil ended, because it is kind of a low amount of fear in the early ranks, like it doesn't last that long, he was just able to run around in circles and kite up and just give his team time to rotate in.
And I mean, that's why I like Chaac, because Chaac can be this raid boss a little bit early on, and he just wastes the enemy's time. A lot of people say, like, yeah, but what does Chaac do? Nothing. But while you're trying to fight Chaac, you're not doing anything either. 4 players are sitting there to allow everybody to rotate, take him out after Chaac does a bunch of damage, and then strip away the jungle. Blue buff was already gone. Speed buff is taken as well. So Kingdom do capitalize.
You can't really ignore him either. Like, if he gets a couple axes off on you, especially a squishy target, they're not going to kill you in one hit, but they're going to start stacking up, and then you're going to be slowed. Brownsiide could be slowed here, but the Hunbats doesn't jump, just does a little bit of damage, and he hammers away. Going to go farm for now. Still has his ult online in case there's an engagement in the mid.
Glad to see he could actually teleport to his tower, hammer this time. First time around,
Come on,
we
man,
watched
leave
him
him
just
alone.
look at it.
He's just feeling it. Grattywind speed buff about to spawn, or excuse me, Brownsides, and there it is. But it doesn't look like there's going to be any contest coming up from Noble. They're still up about 600 to 800 gold, which honestly for Kingdom, that's pretty good considering they lost that Gold Fury as well as kind of got behind a little bit in the early game.
Yeah, they definitely could be a little bit. They could definitely be behind a little bit more than they already are at the moment. But Kingdom certainly able to stay up this time around. Still searching for their first win, though, Kevin. This might be the game, though. They're able to sort of deal with Noble. And then, as we said, the Chaac is an interesting pick that is able to make some of this stuff work. Yeah,
so one of the biggest weaknesses that I've seen from both Kingdom and XL, right, the two teams and the NA and EU SCL that have yet to find a win, is kind of not taking advantage of your strengths or not taking advantage of your advantages, right? It's like you have an early game composition, but you're not fighting, you're letting the other team farm. I haven't seen that from Kingdom in this match specifically. We've seen Brownsiide willing to invade, willing to try and force a fight on the right-hand side. Even, you know, the rotations there to help out the Chaac, who somehow managed to stay alive for a long time. If they have an advantage in something, they're forcing it just like right now.
And I think that Niqued is doing that. Niqued is saying, hey, I'm Chaac, I'm fat, it's the early mid game. Oh, this is when I do it. But Noble, they say, okay, you're all going to hang on to the right side of the map. We're going to take out the Gold Fury. Already down to about 75% HP.
Niqued has teleport, though, and he's going to be the one swinging away at that.
Huh.
And the rotation from Kingdom there going to force Noble off. They want to just get it for free, right? They don't probably want to fight in this situation against the Athena, Scylla, Thor, right? I think one of the biggest things said were, if you're doing Gold Fury and you don't have vision on Thor, typically it's not the right move to make.
Well, when you have a bunch of bursts, it might be.
Oh, they need to go in now. What?
Xbalanque ultimate's going to shove
no
everybody
idea what was happening.
Out. No.
Absolutely just lost.
Damn. No big picture thoughts coming out from
you have Athena, Thor, Scylla there, right? As long as the Scylla stays safe, you should at least contest that. You have Hou Suns as well. The Chaac with the silence on the Gold Fury. You got a pretty good Gold Fury fight. Not to say that Noble doesn't, but it's not like it's going to be almost impossible to steal this away or force any engagement.
Yeah, you know, I'm with you on that, but with the Chaac, one of the things that I think people sort of overlook when it comes to Chaac is objective defense. I mean, you're not always going to get that massive 3-second silence because of DR, but when it comes time to protect your objective, dropping a silence, even if it's 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds, is still going to be very effective. You can't unleash those ults, you can't unleash those hogs. If you do have Wrath, it just prevents you. That silence is very powerful around objectives.
I actually think I think with 102 seconds, I think while the Gold Fury is going on, he actually used his teleport to get to lane.
Might be.
I think that's the timing on that. Not sure if that's exactly what happened, but now because of the two Gold Furies, yoyoabc has evened up in gold. Lou in a little bit of trouble. Despair, though, popping his ult way too early. Guess he thought the Rising Jaguar was still down on Lou.
Yeah, not able to get that damage out, but pretty much has found a lot of damage elsewhere.
Brownsiide actually here, making a rotation over, and he's actually waiting for Grattywind instead. He's going to spot him out, looking for the hammer combo, but the stun is a little bit off the mark. He's got support from his Athena and his Scylla.
Ooh.
And Reacher there, a little bit slow on the draw. Wasn't sure if he wanted to force the fight just yet, but he finally chooses to, and it's a little bit too late. But Despair pushed up by himself, and he's actually going to nicely juke into the jungle, but this is trouble because Grattywind's waiting for him.
And he's got the ultimate, going to send everybody walking in the same direction, but Raijin can't find the ultimate hits. That's the second time we've seen Supro just off the money. There's Despair getting aggressed on, very low, couple jumps, and he'll be safe for the moment. Scylla's looking for it, but Lou with the dot takes one, Batz with the hit takes the other. 2 down on the side of Kingdom, and it doesn't look like Noble's going to stop anytime soon. Batz, he going for it. Looks like yes. Dash up in a couple of seconds. Needs the hit, and he finds it. Sickening strike takes out Brownsiide, and the support finds 2 kills in that exchange. 4-0 and 3. It's the summer of Sobek.
No Gold Fury to take, but it looks like the team's going to be grouping up on the left-hand side. Want that tier 1 tower. Supra and Lou should have enough damage to force this, and no one's in position to defend this. So Lou, I mean, once again, just doing a really good job on the Xbalanque, and now a fair amount of golden experience above Despair. And the issue, once again, for Kingdom, that fight was very similar to the last fight of Game 1, where the players are just so split up. There's no synergy. I don't know who's making the call, whether it's to aggress or defend, but the issue is that they're just not all on the same page, all separated off, and we just see Noble pick them off each one by one by one.
And it's the individual skill. We were talking about how this team has come together.
Okay, Batz.
Oh, is he looking for it?
He got it.
Oh, pick it up.
No, he didn't. Thought he did for a second.
You know what happens when he picks that up?
He's a speedy Sobek?
He's speed back.
That's right.
Come on, man. You got to remember these. That was that week 4?
That's a little while ago.
Either way, Kingdom goes ahead and secures their own, so it'll be Thor with speed buff. Nothing too out of the ordinary. But going back to what you were talking about before, about the individual pickoffs, I mean, Noble is a team that we've seen go from individual players into a team, and now they took a step back by switching some positions, but Grattywind's talented, Super's talented, Lou's talented, and now we're seeing them here in game number 2 really combine one more time.
Look at this. Every time he tries to charge this, he's probably going to get canceled. And a good body block. I'm a monster off the mark, and Reacher in a little bit of trouble there. Surprisingly, Grattywind doesn't ult that entire time, but Supra snipes out Reacher somehow. Max range Raijin ult.
Makes up for it. Makes up for it. Last exchange, he missed all 4 shots that were relatively simple looking. Probably more difficult from his perspective. That time around, finds the long range, able to get it. One more time, Niqued could dive right in the middle of 3. Not afraid of anything.
And actually, Lou rotating underneath. Oh, Catalyyyst. Bye-bye, boy. Brownsiide as well here, trying to force out Lou. But, I mean, he's 5 levels down. And Niqued, once again, he's going to try the 1 versus 5. I don't know if it's going to be the same here. His tower's already down. He's going to ult defensively, just trying to get away.
Only
and Noble Esports still 5K in the lead, though.
You know, I'm loving the playstyle from Brownsiide and Niqued. Brownsiide takes out 1. Niqued is going to go aggressive. There's the Athena ultimate. Well-timed torrent. And there he is, the solo lane.
Damage.
He's trying to find it.
I mean, maybe Despair has the damage. Niqued's still pushing forward, but he's taking so many basics from Lou, just eating them all up. Now Lou going to find the slow on Despair, and this is going to force Kingdom back. Noble Esports, they're going to take a trip back to their base, but instead, it actually looks like they want to defend this tier 1. They don't want Kingdom to have it for free.
Niqued is down to fight. His whole gimmick has been just walk in the middle of 4. He doesn't afraid of anything, and he's got the mystical mail, so it's just ticking. Taunt, axe, tons of damage into Noble, but nobody dead just yet. Here comes Batz turning it around in the ultimate, going to pop up in the late sanctuary. Going to save the life of the hunter. He'll exit stage left until the charge ray comes, stunned out, but he'll jump away.
That was actually unfortunate. That went off at the same time. Niqued, though,
2v1.
Still 1 versus 2. This kid has no fear. 1, 1, and 3, finally on the board. And the tick damage from Mystical Mail adding up. He's actually topping the damage charts right now. And somehow Kingdom, I think, come out not on top overall, but in that last engagement, at least 1 for 1. And Lou falls in favor of Reacher.
Listen, all I can say is Niqued is on top. Niqued by himself has been running it. I mean, earlier on, about 10 minutes ago, when everybody had about 3,000 damage, he was pushing 7. So, I mean, this guy, as I said, he's walking into 1v4. He understands how tanky he is. He's got Mystical, Breastplate, and just finishes the Bulwark of Hope. He's ready to walk into everybody and just be this, well, annoyance that Chaac succeeds at.
And you could see another annoyance in the hands of Robin. Brownsiide forced to ult defensively because he got surrounded and was going to get chased down by him. For me, though, I need to see Catalyyyst step it up. And this isn't just him. This is more about the execution of the Scylla, where he's free ulting almost every single time. There's no setup. Kingdom Esports are typically reacting. They're never trying to force anything. And at this point, they can't really force anything, right? They kind of let Noble be the initiators. And you almost always want to be the initiators in most engagements, and they have the Athena, right? They have the Thor, they have the Scylla, but we never saw them try and force out any early purification to where they could set up those I'm a monster kills.
I mean, you got to find more than just the monster. It's a 2-on-1. ABC stuck just a little bit. No more avoidability from him, so a couple more basics should secure it, but can they secure the basics? It's a different story.
And actually, Gold Fury just going to be done. You could see that ult used by the Xbalanque just to make sure that yoyoabc was going to get out, and still, I mean, the team could have just forced Fire Giant there. That was probably Kingdom's best hope at getting back into this game.
I agree. Fire Giant, definitely one of the shots, but...
Oh, Yo-Yo. Oh, the greed. One more wave syndrome.
Oh, he's in trouble. Surrounded. Not quite the Chaac. Crush finally going to hit. Then a couple more hits, and Brownsiide gets it. I gotta touch on Catalyyyst, though, again, man. I mean, this is... You can't be 400 damage above your Athena if you're going to be a Scylla in the Pro League. It's just, you need to have more damage, unfortunately. It's a very very lackluster game from the mid laner for Kingdom.
Supra going to get pretty low here, and another pick off by Brownsiide, and actually it seems like Noble, though one kill at a time, is kind of getting turned, and look at this, Grattywind, no mana. He's going to be locked down, Brownsiide back into the tower, Reacher finds the kill, and it's only Batz left to defend, but this is going to be a tier 2, and the whole time we saw a little bit of split push from Noble, but Despair was ready and waiting, and quickly, a 5,000 to 8,000 gold lead has now been decimated. Only 2,000 separate the teams, and it seems like Kingdom Esports are actually going to be able to force this Phoenix, or at least attempt to.
I mean, Niqued and Reacher have been able to just do whatever the hell they want when it comes to these smaller engagements. Team fights go the way of Noble, but these smaller 3v3s,
Batz, the body blocks.
It's all about the solo and the support, and Brownsiide as well has been able to touch and make it happen. 23-minute Phoenix going the way of the team that's trailing.
That was actually an awkward series of events. First, Yo-Yo gets really greedy, pushes up by himself once again, and he gets picked off. The rotation comes in from the rest of Noble. They're trying to force the fight, but they all get separated. It was kind of very reminiscent of the fights that Kingdom were losing, where they just got picked off one at a time, and you can see Grattywind, like, he goes aggressive, jumps over the wall and ult, but then he has no mana, and Chaac's like, hey, what up?
And the whole time, I mean, Chaac has been, so Noble's been up a couple of thousand gold, 2,000, 3,000 here or there, but Chaac's up 1,000 himself against everybody. So you have the team lead, but Chaac has the individual lead against your enemy team. So he's able to walk in the 1v4, the 1v3 that we've seen time and time again, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I'm in the league, but Chaac's level 20. Chaac's got 4 or 5 items fully stacked out, ready to fight me in the face, and that's all he's doing. You combine that with the Athena ultimate to make him basically unkillable, and he's able to just slowly chip away, find these kills, and you find a single player out, and that's where that lead is able to be leveraged at. And Kingdom find the early, or not the early, but the come from behind Phoenix to tie the game up.
Still though, the game's still in Noble's favor. Obviously the gold's relatively even, but the experience difference almost actually negated now that both hunters have hit level 20. We did see Despair down about 2, but that's pretty evened up, and we actually saw the Thor fall fairly far behind the Hun Batz in level, but I mean, with the recent towers and objectives, it's all even up on that side, and now Kingdom Esports are sitting fairly pretty, and I mean, once the Scylla, right, as long as she can combine with the Thor or the Athena for some I'm a monsters, her damage is going to skyrocket pretty quickly.
No fear on this Niqued. No fear at all. He's just able to walk in. Look at that. He walks into lane pretty much by himself, and 3 members of the enemy team are just like, all right, man. And they walk away up the mid lane.
He's playing Chaac, not tier.
Yeah, he's not gonna kill you, but you're not gonna kill him.
Piss you off.
Yeah, he's just gonna bother you, and
it's like Ravana.
He's gonna stand there long enough for his team to show up. That's what we've seen time and time again.
He will kill you if you ignore him completely. You gotta get away or CC him or try and kill him.
And that's the problem. What happens with Niqued, he's walking into 4, dropping the slow, and everybody's just sort of like standing and walking away, and 10 seconds later, there's 3 other players from his team showing up. You're slowed. All of a sudden, you're getting hit by everything out of Scylla, everything out of everybody else. Maybe not Scylla, but everything out of everybody else. And then, well, the team fight goes the other way.
Well, Kingdom Esports here look like they have the momentum in the game, and that's going to be a chase and a taunt onto Grattywind. At the very least, he's forced out the Hun Batz Fear No Evil, so important teamfight ultimate now down for Kingdom. They should really look to be forcing something here. They can't delay. With that ultimate down, they definitely have an advantage going into any fight they have, and it seems like, I don't know if they're going to force Fire Giant, but at the very least, they're baiting it.
Yeah, absolute huge win. With the Fear No Evil down, that's a gigantic win. The Monkey's got the Deathbringer build, but he's not that far ahead. He's 1.5 levels down, so he's not actually being this assassin. He's gonna wait.
They're gonna look for Lou. Oh, Lou by himself. There's his dash too. Neek's gonna be able to find him. Oh, and a great wall from Brownsiide. Lou's just delaying for the rest of his team to rotate in. He's gonna be taunted inside the Suns, and there goes the silence as well. Down comes Brownsiide, Raijin up in his ult, and that's gonna do a fair amount of damage. Batz doing everything he can to peel, but once again, Catalyyyst off the mark.
Is unkillable. He just walked into 3 hits of Raijin and looks like he didn't even take a scratch.
Lou's still alive?
Walking down Lou, he's in trouble, facing down the jungler, and Lou's trying to escape. There's the axe, avoids it. Good juke, stunned out, rooted out, but Niqued still full health, ready to go.
How does Lou live in that situation? yoyoabc makes it out as well under his tier 2, and it seems like Kingdom are just going to focus on this tier 1 tower for now. And Lou doing a really good job there, just delaying for his team. Grattywind does fall eventually without his ultimate, but still, it's got to be good feeling about Noble there. That's got to be a good fight for Noble. Even though they lose Grattywind overall and a tier 1 tower, the fact that they were able to hold on when Lou was as good as dead.
Yeah, I mean, Lou, it's got to... I'll give you Lou. Lou's definitely got to feel good. The rest of the team is probably like, I wish you would have done more. But Lou's like, hey, man, I'm alive. I'm feeling good.
And Gold Fury now going to be started up here by Kingdom. yoyoabc smells it out. Just going to be looking to be a bully here on Brownsiide, and he's got a TP to his hammer away.
Yeah, just enough. And, you know, right there, Ravin, is he a threat to the objective? Probably not. But if Ravin's here fighting us, the other team is going to show up sooner or later, right? Isn't that how it works, Niqued? That's what you've been doing the entire game? We know better. So we're not going to allow the solo later to bait us into thinking he's alone.
So overall, Kingdom definitely come out on top of that, right? They get to pick on a Grattywind, they get the tier 1 tower, but more importantly, that fight was going on just as their right-hand side Phoenix respawned, so now it's been reset once again. So
That's
waves of fire minions coming in. But I love what Noble's doing now. So previously, they actually let the Ravin defend that, which I didn't agree with. He was already level 20. They should have sent over probably Grattywind more than anyone so he can get another item online. But instead, though, it's going to be the Raijin, which means he's going to be able to farm up. He's completed Soul Reaver now, working on his Tahuti. Definitely wants that power spike before the next fight.
And he'll have one power spike. The Rada Tahuti probably a little bit far away from it.
A little bit away, you know.
Seeing that he's only level 1 of it. But the Soul Reaver certainly going to impact the team fight just a little bit. Kingdom Esports now try to get some good positioning around the Fire Giant, understanding that Noble's going to have to show up at some point. And Chaac will do some defense on the left-hand side.
You're full build. I guess he has TP, though.
Yep. That's why you're putting Chaac here on the other side.
And because he's still over on the left-hand side, you actually see Noble pushing forward over to the right. Baz looking for a pluck, but just getting positioning for now. Probably doesn't want to force anything just yet. Lou there by himself, just running around here and going to be helping with the wave that Batz is swinging away at. And Chaac is going to be met by the Ravin in that solo. Both have TP, so both have the ability to get to that fight while still split pushing.
Could it be a solo fight? It will be.
No, this is not. This is going to be the worst solo fight I've ever seen. It's going to take forever. And Reacher, whoa, he gets nailed. Even over the wall. 2 shots hit. There's the 3rd and the 4th, but Reacher comes out with barely any health.
Can't find the 4th hit. 3 to 4. Just not going to be enough. Looks like Kingdom now on the retreat, at least on the right-hand side. Niqued on the offensive, trying to slowly kill yoyoabc.
All right, so when did this fight start? Like 15, 20, say 20 seconds ago?
20 seconds ago, exactly, yeah.
I guess it's delayed now, so we can't count it, but...
No, this is still...
Nah, it's been reset.
Yeah, that's a reset. look at me.
He's going to proxy in the tier 2. Yep. If I'm him, I don't even care about anything else but proxy. This is ridiculous.
I mean, he just... What he did was he pressed I and went to defense. He just bought everything. Look at his build. He's got the Stone of Gaia and the Bulwark of Hope. How much HP do you have?
I'm a little bit
4,
surprised we're still not seeing Kingdom force anything with that Fire Wave on the right-hand side. Like, they could do so much damage, but once again, this is the issue, right? We saw them make some nice moves and try and steal away the speed buff, but they're not really forcing anything, right? They're just sitting. They're waiting for Noble to be the aggressors when they have a really good comp for forcing out Purification, right? The Athena just needs to taunt, a stun from Thor, right? You don't have to full commit, just like scare them into thinking you're going to full commit. Even a root from Scylla.
And I think this is one of the unfortunate results, or one of the unfortunate symptoms of being a team with no wins, because you rarely get this opportunity. You're rarely in this position. If you're Kingdom Esports, you're rarely in this spot to go ahead and look for the win. So they're kind of unfamiliar with what to do. Fire Giant very low, 3%. It's going to go the way of Kingdom. Well done. Noble not able to shorten the distance, teleport over from Niqued, and everybody's grouped up. Kingdom has the Fire Giant, and that's the first step to closing this game.
Finally, 31 minutes in, it falls, and Kingdom still down in kills, but they're grouped up, all 5 members alive. There's a couple things they could do. They could look to siege up tier 2s. There's actually 2 members on the right-hand side. That probably would have been the best option, just take that tier 2, then go to the gold. But instead, they're going to swing around to the left-hand side, steal away the red buff. They're probably going to get at least a tier 1 uncontested here.
So we always talk about some of the newer teams and the struggles that, not the newer teams, but lower-end teams have becoming one of those higher-end teams, and closing games becomes one of the more difficult things to do, whether it's because of lack of practice, etc. But Kingdom Esports, now they're, again, finally sort of understanding it. They pick up the gold, they pick up the Fire Giant. This is step one. Now they're looking for the Siege. I really like what we're seeing out of Kingdom now.
They need the forces now. They actually see Lou there. Lou's going to split push and be able to get at least one tower in response. And honestly, they should look for this tier 2 and then either go Gold Fury or get that Phoenix on the right-hand side before Lou can back.
You reckon the Phoenix on the right instead of the mid?
It's low. Like, just go right now.
And that's their call. Right over to the right-hand side. They know they're going to be fighting 5-on-5.
Oh, Chaac's backing. I think he's trying to defend against the Phoenix, but then he sees that Lou's not there. Lou easily could have got that
No
Phoenix
teleport available either. No teleport available. Oh, he stopped the back, so Chaac's still here. Very intelligent play as they see Lou still here. Good stuff. He's going to take the Phoenix as he's nearly indestructible. Well done.
The problem is his team's getting picked off in the back line by himself. Despair getting chased by Batz, but Brownsiide is going to help heal. And a nice stun finds the double tap Despair. First victim in this fight is Batz, and now Niqued's just body blocking this Raijin to the back line. He can't get off his damage, and Reacher's taking out Grattywind in the meantime. Now it's just yoyoabc and Lou left to defend.
This whole time, Niqued is just acting as pretty much goalie, just stopping everything from hitting his teammates, healing up just a little bit, able to take out the Phoenix. Well done. And that's the power of having that Thor available to you. Niqued, as you mentioned, he was taking up the Phoenix, but then as you mentioned, everybody in the backline was just kind of getting smoked because Niqued wasn't really playing the tank. That's what Brownsiide is for.
Niqued actually taking a lot of damage from this Phoenix, and he needs to finish it off. Finally does. And he's actually still deep. He's probably going to fall here eventually, and it goes to Lou. Reacher and the rest of the team just trying to get out, but overall, a massive net win for Kingdom Esports. They find a couple kills. They get the Phoenix on the right-hand side and the middle lane, and they only lose a tier 2 for it.
Yeah, I mean, you lose a tier 2 and you lose a Chaac. I'm down.
They're fine.
I will trade my Chaac for half a Phoenix, let alone 2 Phoenixes. Absolutely.
The problem is now that, you know, we don't actually see top damage going over to Niqued anymore. Lou has completed his full build, right? He's got the Rage online. He's got a massive amount of damage, and he's got 6 stacks on his passive, so he's got a bonus 30 power, and he's doing a lot of damage. Even to Niqued there at the end, you saw him start to shred him. Niqued's not going to be able to be tanky enough to survive the Xbalanque anymore, right? He's going to be fighting against the Raijin.
So this just in. Our fantastic Chaac player, he's very fluid. He's amorphous. He doesn't fit a style. He's like a liquid. We've been pronouncing his name wrong. It's Niqued.
Is that even a real word?
No, of course not. It's the player name.
Oh, okay.
But so it's Niqued. I had no idea. It certainly doesn't look like that. So apologies.
All I'm saying is that it's GIF and not, or GIF, excuse me, not GIF.
Yeah?
It's GIF.
Like giraffes?
No, like graphical interface, which is what it stands for.
Yeah, it stands for that. Where did that you know that I'm a GIF defender.
I know you are.
You know.
Because anytime something is spelled out clearly, like, and it's like, clearly, like it just makes sense. Now, obviously, region-based, it's going to be a little bit different, but
accents. Like,
now, what did you say? How is it pronounced?
Niqued.
Niqued.
So apologies to our solo later. I mean, he's absolutely.
Why is it not UID?
That is a question for another time. All I know is he's up front. He's looking for the tank, and he's doing that himself. Heals up. And look at that, the shield of regrowth. He's so speedy when he gets that heal. He's just trying to find the window to allow his team to come on in.
Oh, this is good, too. There's actually fire waves on the left-hand side, and now Reacher going aggressive. Going to find the taunt, and Niqued, in the back line. Just going to silence out, too, and force everyone out. Now all that needs to happen is the team needs to focus yoyoabc, who's really pushed up by himself. Brownsiide deep as well, forced to pop his relics just to get away. And yoyoabc, here comes Gratty. He's on the mark, but it's not enough to find a kill.
Raijin, on the other hand, just right down Broadway. Grattywind able to find one as well. 2 dead on the side of Kingdom Esports because Supra laying down the paradiddle, hitting 3 people in total with all 4 shots, bringing them down, keeping them out, and even Niqued's got a bounce. Catalyyyst, full HP, still not on top of what he's able to do. Able to get 1 ultimate, but not able to really push his team to the front to allow that left Phoenix to go down. Excellent defensive display by Noble. And don't think I missed it, Despair. Despair got a double bounce off of the right-hand wall. Very smart stuff, but only able to take out Yo-Yo.
Yeah, unfortunately, Despair, though, a little bit late on the reaction time, he gets taunted out by the Raijin, takes so much damage from the Hunbat's Fear No Evil as well. And he still had both his relics up, just a little bit of a mechanical misplay for him. He wasn't ready in time to burn those. Fire Giants back up, and Noble Esports still showing why they are a fearful team. Even from behind, it is an incredibly close game. We're 37 minutes into it. Almost everyone is full build. The mage is trying to finish their final items. The jungler, most specifically Grattywind, still needs another item, but I mean, all said and done, this is an even game.
You know, Noble's one of these teams that has really impressed me throughout the course of the season, and that Gratty's going to jump away.
No,
Gratty's going to get
this is
stunned.
really rough for him. He's going to burn his purification,
No
so even
jump.
if he gets out, it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
No ult, no purification.
That's rough.
Force the fight. Look at that. The Phoenixers are respawning. This needs to be the time that we see Kingdom either force the Phoenixes or do the Fire Giant, and they're going to do Fire.
I like this call. I like the call to do Fire, because either Noble's going to come off their base and then...
Despair's on the wrong side of the map, though. Like, that's their Hunter. That's their main their main FG clear. He wanted that red buff really bad.
Remember when I said I like that call?
Yeah.
I don't like that call.
I don't like that call.
Despair just not there, man. Unfortunate for Kingdom, because now the window is kind of closed. Those Phoenixes are up. They've been defended.
And the fire waves, it's the final ones there on the right. You can see no more to really deal with after those archers, but still.
Very small window there that Kingdom needed to take advantage of.
Ooh, wrong wall. Trying to find Xbalanque there with the rest of his team, but he actually walls Xbalanque out from the rest. Now Fire Giant finally going to be looked at from Kingdom, but this time it's going to be a full 5-on-5 on it. But it seems like they're just looking for the kill. Reacher going to find the dash, but even if the taunt connects, I mean, that's only yoyoabc. That Robin's pretty tanky. You need to be looking for the core targets. In all honesty, we need to see some more purification baits from this Athena, followed up by that I'm a monster.
And exactly, like we were talking about the lack of Scylla damage. It's, you know, column A and column B. Scylla needs to hit him, but he also needs some help.
Like another taunt for Reacher, but no one's in position to follow up once again. And now Despair taking so much damage over the wall, and Batz trying to find the pluck, but instead he's got to get out. Doesn't matter though. yoyoabc trying to chase him down. 4v1. He's got no care in the world right now. Sanctuary's popped. Despair's rooted though. He's getting kited through, and it seems like he will manage to get out. But the problem is yoyoabc is still there, and he's burned so many ultimates.
Yo-Yo's on the right, but Gratty's on the left. Ult comes right on up, and Despair dies to the damage from Fear No Evil. Kata finds one. Kata looking for two. He's got it. Kata's trying to find numero tres, but won't. And now falls down Yo-Yo.
Finally. I mean, that's the whole thing we've been looking for Catalyst. That time, once again, though, I don't think there was CC involved. He finally just connected. Then he connects onto another raw one because I think the Raijin was still in his basic attack animation, which means he was slowed down, and then he hits yoyoabc. It's not enough for a third reset, but it's enough to kill him. But they have no idea what they want to do.
They're deciding
Kingdom has no idea what they want to do.
They're deciding. Niqued's going to go up and just sort of lead the charge. It's like, hey, I'll take whatever you want me to do. What do you want me to tank?
Batz is behind them.
Tank it.
I mean, these two Phoenixes should fall, but I mean, there were so many options there. And now the Scylla is just going to be kind of dealt with for now. And Niqued doesn't have enough damage to do this by himself. The Hunter died is one of the main problems. They don't really have a lot of clear from this.
Right.
And they might only get a single Phoenix after winning that fight.
No, don't forget that. I mean, this is the respawn Phoenix,
Catalyyyst.
Kevin.
Catalyyyst used a Sentinel. If Batz recognizes that, that's trouble. But both Phoenixes fall, and there goes Grattywind and Catalyyyst. He has no way to get away, but a good silence going to force Grattywind back, and here comes Brownsiide.
He's looking for Bloodlands right on top of Grattywind's path, but not on him. And the double tap not there either.
He's got to get out. I mean, they get both Phoenixes, but overall, Kingdom, they could have got so much more.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but the two Phoenixes was the goal. Everything else would have been icing on the cake. So they've got a pound cake. Good for them.
Hey man, pound cake's pretty good. Not gonna lie.
I'm down. But I still want some icing on it. I still want a little bit
icing
extra.
on pound cake, man. At that point, just get like a chocolate cake.
Oh, I don't know.
Vanilla cake?
See, my problem with cake is that it generally, like crackers, they make me too thirsty.
No, I feel that.
So like I want something a little bit, more moist. I want something that can stand on its own legs, pretty much the way Niqued's been able to do it. He's been by himself the entire time, and then even when he's combining with the team, he's still pushed up ahead of everybody, creating this space to allow everybody to follow up on the backside.
You want to know my favorite part of that? Is that I knew you were looking for a branch, and I was gonna wonder what you finally did, but you could see some branches being swung swung down there, the Fire Giant swinging away, and it looks like Kingdom are going to get this Fire Giant uncontested. The second one of the game. Yo-Yo actually rotating in, and it's not low enough just yet. 8% Idle Monster
well
used
done
to secure it. Definitely a necessity here, and yoyoabc getting chased away.
Noble just run completely away. They hit the eject button, Xbalanque ultimate, and turn and run. Kingdom Esports now, they've got the gold lead, not that it matters as we're 41 in, and everybody's pretty much full build, but more importantly, they've got 2 Phoenixes down, they've got the Fire Giant, and they're ready to rock on the left-hand side.
The big thing is the Raijin's been still working on his Mantle of, or not Mantle of Discord, excuse me, Spear of Desolation. It's been tier 2 for at least 10 minutes at this point, so he's got to be close to finishing it off, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be ready for this final fight here. Left-hand side Phoenix, Niqued in the front line once again with Reacher. The problem is they need to keep their back line alive, and Despair already forced out. He's getting chased out by Batz, who already follows up onto Catalyyyst, and once again, the carries on the side of Kingdom are falling one at a time. It's only been 1 dead so far just yet, though.
Good taunt coming out of Reacher, trying to find the damages. Niqued, ultimate as he turns around, grabs 2, but everybody else still giving chase. Reacher in trouble. So much CC, and Brownsiide able to help out.
They should probably just stop these backs, but doesn't matter. The minion's going to be funneling into the base. Kingdom a little bit worried there. yoyoabc actually the only one to not back, and he's caught out here by Niqued, but he seems to have the speed to be able to chase this. Despair pushing forward, not going to find the stun. They need to be careful, though. They're going real deep.
And that shield of regrowth, I mean, you're not going to escape Niqued. Yo-Yo was allowed to leave. That's what happened there. Yo-Yo was allowed to leave. Niqued decided not to give chase.
And without Catalyyyst, they can't force this. I mean, it's way too risky. Well, I mean, once again, like Catalyyyst and Despair are just getting piled on in the back, and at this point, someone needs to peel, right? You have three, you know, quote-unquote front lines: the Thor, the Athena, and the issue I'm seeing is probably the Athena, right, where she's going aggressive to try and taunt people, but her carries are getting bodied in the backline, so they can't even follow up. Let Niqued be that guy who's just annoying Raijin in the backline. Athena's there. The second someone goes aggressive, you can find the taunt, and if they burn their CC, or excuse me, burn their purification, then you can really just pile in on those guys diving you.
You also have to play the game that you're actually playing, you know, in the playbook. In before the game, you're sitting there, you're like, all right, Athena's going to taunt, we're going to set up all our damage, hooray. For the past 43 minutes, that hasn't happened.
No.
We get the taunt and there's no follow-up. Or Cat is fighting raw hits, not off of the Athena taunt. So you adapt and you adjust. All right, Reacher, you're finding these good taunts, but nobody's following up. So save the taunts to save the lives, because Despair, he's great. He's a fantastic player, but he's 1-4-5 because Noble Esports are a smart team that are going to dive the Hou-Yi every opportunity they get.
Phoenixes have respawn, though, still very low. And you can see Kingdom. Fire Giant still on board onto 4 members. I think that's going to be lasting for another minute. And Grattywind actually forced to purify. There you go. That's what you need to do. But Raijin already up in the ult. And Despair, that was pretty dangerous for him. But that's a lot of ultimates burned.
Yeah, Niqued finds 3 with the silence as well on the right-hand side. Already done, but the damage has been dealt. Can't find the damage onto the Phoenix, though. Despair has to drop the ult. Brownside's up.
Noble's burned every ult. This is Kingdom's time. They just need to pile in right now.
They're going for it.
You can see Yo-Yo getting very low as well.
Yeah, Niqued's just going to do it by himself. I mean, he can withstand all of the damage pretty much at the moment, especially with that Fire Giant still on for a little bit. Shifting over to the right-hand side, looking for this right Phoenix one more time. His Kingdom, this will be the third time they take it down.
He has no purification. Just taunt Grattywind. He has no purification. Instead, it's Yo-Yo getting a little bit low. There it is. There's the stun, the double tap. And quickly, Gratty has to jump away. Still, the Phoenix not targeted out. Despair plucked back into the team, and a little bit of an awkward spot, and Raijin doing so much damage.
And that's what Raijin do. Third time the Phoenix falls down for the guys on Kingdom. Brownsiide gets 1, Niqued gets 2 right in front of the mage, so it's 2 people down, 3 people allowed to defend, but the Titan already being aggressed on half HP for the final objective. Yo-Yo is able to take out Despair, which is a large amount of the damage.
Fight on Titan in its game. I mean, the Titan would have already been dead at this point. It's so low. You could see just about 5%, and it seems like Kingdom
Niqued's doing it by himself.
Going to find their first win.
Niqued's just doing it by himself. And ladies and gentlemen, Kingdom Esports, 18-18, 45 minutes of competition. They find their first win of the SCL split.
It was a rough road for them there, and you can see, right? Like, Kingdom has a lot of potential when it comes to the individuals right now, coming in at 1-15. They just got to work on kind of the shot calling, kind of the mental capacity on what to do, when to do it, why you're doing it. They have the talent though. They have the skill, I think.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the individual talent come here, and this is why the league system always gets me excited because all right, you finally get your first win. Now identify it, check out the tape, see what went on, and realize you got to follow Niqued. That's going to be the basic game. Give him something that allows him to go tank everybody and see what you're able to do.
It worked out in the end though. And just overall, I mean, everyone kind of performed on that team there individually. It was just kind of the synergy on what to do.
And we see Lou starting things off with the soul. Thanks to the change to some of the itemization, we're allowed to see this god come out. And look, this is really what Lou did the majority of the time. He gets into a terrible spot and is able to somehow maneuver out, find a kill on the left side with the team, and then do it again by himself over here. That's the story of Lou the entire set.
And even in game 2 on that Xbalanque, we saw him being super impactful as well. And he's always a danger to go against. And this was just the juke shoes, right? And full credit to Batz there as well, just making sure to body block everything, and then he dashes forward and actually dashes back in, and then when he sees the pluck coming in on Reacher, he backsteps again. Make sure to get the slow. Locked under tower.
That right there?
And then he dies.
Bang.
But,
of course. Brownsiide, but doesn't teleport to the hammer.
It's okay.
Brownside's going to be our next look at this one as he steps in for the first time in the jungle and does a fantastic job understanding his role. I think that's the #1 thing for me with this guy in Kingdom is that he came in and he's like, look, I can emulate some of these adaptings and these answers and be this incredible assassin that's just there to kill you over and over again. And for what it's worth, he wound up with 7 kills in that second exchange before the final fight of the Titan. But he was more about that secondary initiation, peeling for the backline. We noted that was the main problem for Kingdom in their fights, but as the game went on, he adapted and he adjusted and was able to find those peels.
And we saw him, multiple times trying to set up those early game kills as well, especially in that game too. We saw that first gank on a yoyoabc, something that you almost never see in the solo lane. You rarely see those pre-level 5 ganks, but sometimes those are the most potent because you're like, you don't expect them to happen, and then a Thor suddenly walks into your lane.
I mean, especially on a character like Ravana, where the ultimate only comes at level 5. And if you're crafty like Divios and some of the other players,
you don't see them leveled.
You're not even going to take the ult at 5. But either way, Kingdom go ahead and they find their first win. And because of that, we're going to talk to their captain and their mid laner. It's the longtime SCL veteran. It's Catalyyyst. Congratulations on your win. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing fantastic. Glad to talk to you one more time. We made friends a number of months ago over at the LAN. How have you been since then, and have you adjusted to SCL life?
SCL is a ton of fun coming from last year with the season 1 just being MLG and the UMGs and all that. Playing directly with hi-rez has been awesome so far, even though we haven't had the best start and finish to the split.
So talk to me a little bit about this win. How does it feel to finally get on the board?
It feels awesome, especially with the new roster. These role swaps / roster changes have all come into effect, I think a total of like a week and a half now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been about 10 days.
Yeah, our game against Most Wanted last week, we had only been a team for 2 days. So
okay.
It's definitely a lot of changes. I've never played mid competitively. I know that I still have a lot of things to learn, but I think I'm progressively getting better at it, and I'm really excited. The new squad, having Despair, Reacher, and Niqued for sure. Yeah,
talk to me a little bit about shot calling, because from what we watched, it seems like the individual mechanics are there on almost every single player. Who's really leading the team, and are they new at it, or kind of what's going on with that situation?
Well, I tend to try to shot call a little bit, but with learning the new role and everything, it's pretty difficult. A lot of things, when I played ADC for 3 years, things come naturally. I don't have to think a lot of things, but when you're playing a new role, there are a lot of things that you have to really think about that you don't necessarily think about instinctively. So I would say T-Small would be probably our top shot caller right now, which he wasn't able to make the games today, unfortunately.
So he's just sitting out for the week because of one reason or another. Brownsiide did a great job, but he's not a permanent member of the starter unit.
Right. Yeah. Brownsiide did awesome today. I really appreciate him showing up. And he actually doesn't have Nemesis mastered. He didn't tell us that when we picked her. But we got the Thor for him first pick, and I think it worked out really well. He played really well. But he is our sub, and T-Small will be back for the next games, hopefully.
He certainly did a good job, but I want to talk about the starters today. Niqued and Despair, I mean, really, really showed up. What are you doing there, bud?
He's drinking his Niqued.
But you got that G Fuel, I can hear it. Niqued and Despair really showed up, man. What can you tell me about these guys and how they play with the team and how they, even interact off the battlefield?
If they're from Long Island, don't tell them that.
I think they're both from Long Island.
No.
Niqued's really smart. He's really intelligent. They've both played on, even though there isn't really, I guess, a challenger scene for Xbox yet. They've kind of always been like a couple of those up and comers that,
Sweet.
like the SCL teams, Scrim, the teams that are, kind of the next up and coming teams. And CL Car decided to leave the team. One of the first people I thought of was Niqued.
Awesome.
And honestly, we had scrimmed another team with Despair on it. We were trying out a couple of ADCs, and we played against him. He played really well, and we decided to practice with him a couple times, and he's a very good mechanical player.
Yes, we certainly saw that on display today, not just with the Uller, but also the Hoyi. Very, very fantastic stuff. Congratulations on your first win. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the people at home before we let you go, bud?
Oh, I would like to thank Kingdom for sure. I mean, like I said, our record's 1-15, but David, the owner, has been great. He's been supporting us all the way through it,
awesome.
And I'm glad to finally give him a win that he deserves, and hopefully we can just go up from here.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. It's the captain and the new mid laner, Catalyyyst, for Kingdom Esports. I like the way he brought up Niqued and Despair being the up and comers of the SCL. It's really cool to see some of the fresh blood and more of the behind the scenes stuff as far as that's concerned. Kingdom Esports will take their win and unfortunately stay at the bottom of the split for at the moment. But as things move forward, they have a second chance to move up even more so against Thor.
Thursday, we have some more SCL action, though. Elevate going to be taking on Noble Esports at 3 p.m. Eastern, followed by Soar and Kingdom. And we're going to be closing out the NA SCL on Thursday with Eager versus Most Wanted, the two top cards.
That one's going to be, like, real talk, that one's going to be a lot of fun. I like watching, I've always liked watching Eager, but really Most Wanted has developed to be a fantastic team.
They're really exciting to watch. They have such a dynamic style and a different style where it just seems they bring out something new every single week.
Yeah, a little bit of fun, a little bit of destruction, and certainly it's been working. They're sitting up number 1. We're sitting up, and we're ready to go. It's been a lot of fun this week. We're going to move on to the SCL week number 6. We'll see you on Thursday, but don't forget, Wednesday, we'll see you there. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next week. Peace.